Welcome to Live, Life Inspired Views for Every Day. My name is Chris Meyer, and I'm a curious soul. Thursday, it will be 3 years since I began writing this podcast. When I researched the process, I learned that most podcasts don't make it past 6 postings. Well, this is number 156. I'm so grateful to be able to use my love of writing, encouraging, and learning to continue sending these out. Thanks so much for hanging in there with me. This week, I was nudged to revisit the topic of wounds. I talked about that in my 12th podcast in 2022. And there are some topics that bear repeating because we need to be reminded over and over. We are all carriers of wounds. It would be pretty impossible to go through life without experiencing painful encounters, disappointments, or trauma. There are so many different levels and intensities of wounds that find a home in people's souls. But when it's your pain, it often matters not how big the event. It is still a hurt, and sometimes it can do significant damage in our lives, no matter the size. It depends upon what we do with those wounds. You've heard me quote Viktor Frankl before, a psychiatrist who survived excruciating pain, loss, and humiliation as a prisoner in the concentration camps during the Holocaust and World War II. Frankl said, "Everything can be taken from a person but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." We do have the choice. Think about how we sometimes direct that choice. Lewis B. Smedes insightfully said, "In matters of forgiveness, there's always a prisoner, the one needing forgiveness or the one withholding it." Do you know any prisoners like that? They are often bitter and cynical. So one wise sage said, "Acid does more harm to the vessel it is stored in than the thing to which it is applied." It is good for all of us to do internal house cleaning sometimes, reflecting on what we might be holding within that hurts us more than anyone else. Forgiveness is the antidote to the long term effects of a wound. Several years ago, I came across something said by Richard Rohr that had a great impact upon me. He said, "If you do not transform your pain, you will transmit it, and most likely to those closest to you." I have a hunch some of you are carrying deep wounds left by someone who had not transformed their pain, and they ended up transmitting it to you. Now you can choose to end that transmission. It's hard, but not impossible by any means. L.I.V.E, another survivor of the concentration camps during the Holocaust, said something that I tell my graduate students in counseling all the time. You need to have someone to bear witness to the pain you have absorbed. Hmm. The power of sharing your pain to a trusted person is remarkable and holds great potential to free a wounded spirit. Most people hold on to those wounds so tightly for so many reasons: fear of being vulnerable, fear of hurting more in the process of revisiting and revealing the hurt, fear of working through the pain, fear that once they open up, they will then lose control of this thing they have tried to control and have nurtured with anger. When one looks at the short time we are granted the gift of life on this earth, I certainly do not want to give the power of taking my joy, my hope, and my freedom of spirit to anyone. By holding a grudge, I give away my power. I recently discovered a way of looking at influences on us and us on others that was developed by sociologist Elise Boulding. She suggested that we take the birth year of an older person we knew as a child and the 100th birth year of the youngest person who will we hold in our arms this year. Then we will come upon the 200-year span we have influence in. So, my grandma Mirwold was born in 1885, and my soon to be born grandchild will be 100 years old in the year 2125. That is a span of 240 years that I have been influenced by and thus can influence others. By transforming our pain to free ourselves, we can send the best of our influence far beyond today. Don't let your influence shrivel and rot because you hold anger over another person. Let that anger go. Free yourself. Take the power away from those you are angry at, those who you just can't seem to or want to forgive. They might not even know you feel that way. Free yourself to live, truly live. You can start today with the cheapest therapist I know, a pen and paper. Write it out. Get it out of inside of you. Then you can shape it, size it, color it, so it will not be bigger than you. Then begin the process of freeing your prisoner. Finding that trusted person, often a therapist, is like buying shoes. If it doesn't feel right, keep trying others until you find the one who you can trust with your secrets and anger in order to transform your pain. Online or in person therapy is so worth the effort. Your journey can begin today. This week, on your bathroom mirror, write, "It is time to live free." Join me next Monday for Live, Life Inspired Reviews for Every Day. I'm Chris Meyer, and I'm a curious soul.